Hi there, Karen here from Turquoise Treasures. Welcome back to working in my Christmas journals. This week, this video, we're going to start working on the Patchwork Christmas Journal. And I'll be numbing and ahhing, deciding where to start with this, because all I've done is put the signature together. There may be things to still be added, I haven't decided. But I thought, well, what's a journal without its cover? So I think we're going to do the cover today. And I brought the bits and pieces along. I am struggling a bit with my sewing machine, and I'll explain about that later on. Because I need to sew it because I'm doing the patchwork. So I'll put this to one side. We'll have another look at that a bit later on because for the inside. But I think I'm just using for my base. This was the packaging for some paper that I bought. I think it's 120 GSM, some nice paper that I like to use occasionally for special projects because it's not that cheap. You only get 50 in a pack. And I want it to have a bit of a squidgy feel to it. So I'm going to cover it with this stuff. It's like bubble wrap with this soft bit on the other side. So I'm going to cover it with that, and then we'll put the patchwork layer over the top of that. So I think that's where I need to start, is just covering this. And then we can start working on the patchwork bit separately, because I'll be doing that on some fabric separate, and then glue it together. And so I can get this drying. So I'm just going to, hopefully this will stick. I mean, I'm going to use Fabri-Tac because that's the best glue for anything different. So I'm hoping this will work okay. And yes, just get cracking. This is something I've been thinking about doing. I've had it in my mind for quite a while, and I thought it's really time to make a start. Just do it. Just want to get a wet wipe out at the ready for any spillages. So hopefully that's stuck down. I mean, I'm planning to sew over it afterwards because I shall sew the patchwork layer to it. I think. Let's see if I can get the machine threaded. I've been trying to thread my sewing machine this morning with some new red, well, not new red thread, some old red thread, and that might be the problem. And I can't get it to go through the needle, can I? So Richard's had a go as well, and he can't thread it. The pair of old crocs we are. We can't see properly, or I don't know. I can't see properly. My hands can't get it through the hole, and he's had a go, and he can't do it either. So they made me feel better that it wasn't just me. But it means that I'll have to have another go, see if we can do it. Because I really would like to sew my Christmas project with red, but if I can't thread the needle, I can do the newer threads. I'll either have to get a new thread that's got a little bit more stiffness. I think the thread is just so soft, it just buckles as you try to get it through the needle. Right, there we are. I'll leave that to dry. So then hopefully, I shouldn't really do that yet, should I? But hopefully that will give me a bit of a more of a squidgy feel. I like a book to feel a bit squidgy. So I thought I'd just do that. Try it anyway, I haven't done that before. Then this is the piece of fabric I'm going to use for my cover. That I'm going to add the bits of patchwork to. And I have a little pile of Christmassy fabrics that I'm going to just place all over in a patchwork effect. And hopefully once I can thread my machine, I'll be able to sew it all on. That's the theory. I mean, I can go brown, and I will, if I have to, I'll go brown with it. If that's the only option, because the brown I have not really any problem with threading. For some reason, this red, I might even try. I've got some gold thread, which I guess I could try. We'll see. But anyway, in the meantime, I'm just going to use, I think I'm going to try and glue each piece on with some glue stick just to hold it in place before I can get around to sewing, which I might then reinforce with a few pins here and there. So I'm just going to try and just pop these pieces of fabric all over and see how it ends up looking. Let's just trim off this little endy bit. So I think what I'll do, well, I have decided I'm going to just have it overhanging at the sides so that then I can, when I sew it, anything that's, I can trim off any extra bits, but then there won't have any, it'll go over the edge of the journal and it won't hopefully disguise any raw edges and cover the white completely. And I'm just going to overlap, and this seems to have got a bit of a frilly edge. I may have used my frilly cutter at one point for some of this. I probably should try it again. Maybe I'll even go across around this, but you know me, I'll make a mess of it, so I might just not do that. Need a bigger piece, I think. Go with that there. So I'm just going to lay these on. Oh, I thought I might just try and glue as I go. That might be the best thing to do. I'm having to lay it all out and then have to go back and glue. So I think when I made my patchwork cover before, I had a quick look at my video, and that's what I did. I laid it all out and then I had to go back and glue them on, which kind of was like double the work, really, wasn't it? So I think I will glue as I go, because it's not so glued on so firmly that I can't move things about if I need to. But I've tried using glue on fabric, this glue on fabric before when I've done snippet rolls. And it may not hold it forever, but it'll hold it enough, I think, until it can be sewn. That piece there. Yeah. Oops. Just get rid of some of these strings. So I'm filming, this is my second film of the weekend. And actually I was going to show you, I'll do that when remind me. I was going to show you the results of my Roxy's Weekly Challenge, because I did have some issues with that if you've watched it, and I think I've done them in a way that I'm happy with. Let's put that there, I think. So I'll just show you those when I'm done with this. So we spent a lot of this weekend. So I may have mentioned that the kitchen has been finished, but tomorrow we've got the decorator coming to paint the walls. In the past, Richard has always done our decorating. We've never really. I think we employed somebody once a while ago to do our living room, but that worked there, yeah. But he thought it was a good idea. I thought so too. For somebody to come a professional to come and do our kitchen, as the kitchen is, it's been we spent a lot of money on it. We want to get it finished properly by a professional. So anyway, he comes tomorrow, and We still haven't chosen the paint. We have been umming and ahhing, backwards and forwardsing, trying to make our minds up with the our colour scheme. Not that one. I'm having the same trouble choosing the colours of my patchwork here. Okay, that's going to go down there. Yeah, we can't make our minds up. We've got so many paint swatches. We're not actually on the walls. We're just painting, or he's painting big pieces of lining paper to see how they look. I can overlap a bit because this is such a big piece. I can overlap this a fair bit. And yeah, it's been a bit of a it's been a bit difficult to make our minds up. I think we're there. I think we've got the main colour anyway, because it was trying to find a way we wanted really to have one colour for the whole kitchen, but it's such a big room. That we could find a colour that if we found a colour that worked on one part, it wouldn't work on all of it. So I think we've decided we're going to have to go for two coordinating shades, two colours that will go well together. I need a small piece of red, I think, at the bottom there. Have I got a small piece of red? Well, I will have. I'm going to cut this in half. Needs to go down here. Okay. So we have all the decisions that have had to be made for this kitchen, and this has proved the most difficult. It's that finishing touch, isn't it? So that the room looks how we want it to, I guess. Trying to find another. Yep. I played with these pieces the other day, just laying them all out, and it went so well. And now this time I'm finding it. I'm doing it for real. Finding it difficult to put the that doesn't work for me. What colour can I have down here? No, another one of those. One of these. That might be better. Yep. Some of these fabrics, they're just fat quarters from Hobbycraft, but they're gorgeous. I think I want to go and get some more. A couple of them were fabrics I bought from Etsy, just ordered from a fabric shop. And this piece was an old scarf I bought at a vintage fair or something. I used it for my first ever journal cover, I think. It's a bit, it frays a lot. So, don't know how that'll go on here, and I've got the option of both sides. I could have it that way. No, I think I'll have it this way. But I like it because it's got the sparkle. Now I need a long piece. Yes, that long piece, in fact, can go there. So it's quite nice to be able to get another video in because we've got quite a busy week ahead again. So I'm going to go and see Hannah and the baby tomorrow. And we've got it's half term, so we've got Alyssa for the day on Tuesday. So, as you can tell, today is Sunday. So we've got Alyssa for the day. I may cut that up a little shorter on Tuesday, and then on Thursday we're going away overnight to go and visit my husband's very elderly aunt who's just gone into a care home, and she lives in Norfolk. And her son lives in Wales, which is the opposite side of the country, so he can't get down there at the moment. So we said we'd go and see how she's doing. She's a proper sweetie, she is. So it's no hardship to go and visit her and see how she is. Right, big piece there. Right. Okay, that's used up most of the pieces I had. So I think that's going to be it. Very patchworky, as you can see. A bit lumpy bumpy here and there, but I think it'll be fine when it's all sewn. So I think that's what I will do when I can get this machine threaded. So I'm going to leave that, well, I'll leave it to dry. Hopefully it'll kind of set. I may put some bits of ribbon or something on as well. Not sure, because I probably will want some kind of focal point on the front, but at the moment I just like it as it is. So I'm just going to leave that to dry to one side, and then I'm coming back to the cover, to this piece. And originally I had thought for the inside that I would do some pieces from the Stamperia paper pad and just stick some paper on each side and some fabric down the middle. But I'm a bit concerned about this raw edge, and I want to be able to wrap something around that. So I think I'm going to go fabric after all. So the piece I've chosen is this piece because I chose it because when I looked at the signature, I just thought it would go really beautifully with it in the background. And of course, I've got some of it in the cover as well, but not too much. So I thought that would be really nice. It's I love this piece of fabric. So, and then I'm planning to glue it all on and glue it around the sides like that. In fact, when I've seen Gail doing this, she's done this as well before. I'm not so sure about the inside, but for the outside, she doesn't even bother gluing on there, but just wraps it around really tightly. I'm not sure if I'm brave enough to do that. So I might just put a bit of glue just to hold it in place. Not this glue though. I think it's going to have to be a bit of Fabri-Tac, but I might not put a huge amount on, just to hold it nice and taut. Let's see if we can get this to work. This is all, I feel like every time I do a cover, I'm doing it for the first time. Now, I'm not sure which way round to do it, but I would think I'm more likely to get it in the right place if I do it this way round first. Turn it back and smooth. So it's a bit wrinkly. That's one of the benefits of having it glued. You can smooth out the creases, can't you? Maybe that's what I should do. I think I will try and cut it across the corners a little bit. Usually I fold the corners, but I think I might try doing it without reducing the bulk by cutting the corners off a bit. So there's the inside. I mean, it's beautiful enough to be a cover in its own right, isn't it? But we're going with a different idea today. So that's kind of how the outside looks at the moment. But hopefully, when the patchwork is sewn, it will go all right on there. So I think I'll have to pause the video for now and try and get all my patchworky bits sewn on, and then I'll come back and show you how it looks when it's done. So I'll be back. Alright, so I managed to thread my needle eventually, and I've sewn around all the squares, all the patches. Not terribly well. I'm no needlewoman, but I've got them all sewn on all the way round with the red zigzag, and you can see how it looks on the back. That's how it's backwards and forwards across, trying to get it all in, get it all. Every square has got stitching around it, and I'm trying to work out whether to, because it feels like this is now way too long. Because I've folded around this, I could actually trim that so that rather than having it sticking out, which I originally planned, I think I'd rather bring it in a little bit so that I can just see the edge of the cover, because I've got that lovely fabric. That'll just give it a nice edge, doesn't it? Which means I do need to trim this down quite a bit, I think. Whether to do it before done this one, I think I'm going to lose this piece altogether. But I think it will look better if I'm able to do that. Just trying to decide which bit to trim. To bring it up a little so I don't lose everything. And then I will sew it so that, because I haven't sewn around the edges, because I thought, well, there's no point in sewing around the edges and then sewing it again. I'm hoping it'll go through all of this. So I think I might just trim it round the edges a bit. It's a bit nerve-wracking. I don't think I want to do this side. I like this side. I'm going to trim some off the top and some off the bottom. And hope I can do it about straight. It's quite a nerve-wracking thing to do, really. I've just done all that sewing. But I've changed my mind how I want it to go on the cover. Ooh. What I don't want is to have too much white showing from the background, so yeah, not sure how this is going to work out. Okay, so somehow I've ended up with a bit of, I did manage to catch that piece. So if we do that, then I'm going to need to trim a bit off this side, aren't I? Right, so now we've got, so I'm kind of doing things backwards because I usually do it the other way around, where I fold the front cover around and then just stitch the inside cover just inside it, but I'm doing it the other way around today, but I quite like that. And then I'm going to trim off, well, quite a big chunk of this, unfortunately. So I'm going to lose a fair bit of fabric, but it's necessary. Only little bits. Right. Now, how does that look? I quite like that now. So I think I'm going to glue it into place and then stitch around it. So where are we? I'm just going to glue in the middle. Right, so that's glued in. Did you see the sun suddenly go in? Oh no, it's come back out again. I had my blinds down, I had them up, had them down again. So the sun's come back out, so it just brightens everything up. Right, so I've got that glued into place, and now I think I'll just go round the edge, possibly a couple of times with a straight stitch. I think, just to make sure it's firmly on. So it'll be a bit of a messy straight stitch, I think, all around the edge. And then I'll show you how that looks when it's on. So there it is. There's my patchwork cover, and actually it feels almost like a quilted cover. I love it. So I went round almost twice. There was the odd little bit of white showing here and there, but I'm not going to worry about that. I went round it almost twice with my messy straight stitch. So I went round it once, fairly straight, and then I wove a bit sort of in and out to make sure all the edges are caught down. But I ran out of thread. My thread just completely ran out to about here. So this last bit, it hasn't got the double layer, but I don't think it's a problem. Completely invisible on this side anyway. So yeah, that's my cover. I mean, it's not perfect, but it feels lovely, and I'm hoping it will prove quite a good size for my journal. It's something different. So yeah, it's a tightish fit, but I think once it all starts to expand, I don't think it'll matter, and I think this has got a bit of give. So yeah, I might have to cut this down a fraction, I'm not sure, but I might put some lace along here. That's a thought, isn't it? A lace or ruffles or something like that. So that's my cover. It's not perfect. Nothing ever is in this world, but I love it. I love the look of it, love the feel of it, and yeah, so next time we'll come and start making some things to go in the journal. So there we are. Thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now. I am back again. I remembered after I'd finished filming that I had said at the beginning of the video that I would show you those pockets that I made as Rocky's Weekly Challenge, because I hadn't quite managed to completely finish any of them, and one of them had been a bit of a disaster, so I did work on them a little bit afterwards after I turned off the camera. So I just thought I'd show you how they finished up. So this one I had more or less finished when at the end of the video. I did add this little phrase here, make a snow angel. I think it was from a branding strip on one of my other scrapbook papers. So I was getting rid of the branding strip, and I noticed it had a couple of phrases on, so I just cut them out, and it kind of worked quite well on here because it's a snowy scene. And I added my little tab that I made on camera, but I didn't actually end up attaching it, so I have now got it on the end there, ready to flip up. And yeah, this was the pocket that started as a disaster, but it's ended up I'm quite happy with. I could still decorate it, but I think it's just so pretty as it is. I don't really think I want to, and it just adds bulk a little bit, doesn't it? So that's that one. This was the one where I actually made a side tuck from the paper, the same paper as the main pocket, this little paper bag. I had some leftover paper. I was making a side tack quite happily, and then tried to glue it on to the paper, to the cardstock. So that had to go, and I had to think about what I was going to do instead. Found this piece of, it's pink, very pale pink. I don't suppose you can see it very well, but it's got like snow all over it. So it's a polka dot, but big blobs, big dots. So it's got that pinky tone, so it tones really well with the background. And then this piece that I've stuck on top is a Dreams Etc. I had sitting in my stash, and I thought it went really well. I don't know whether it's got that pinky look because it got printed when my ink was running out. Sometimes that happens. When my ink starts running out, everything comes out pink. I have a feeling this isn't meant to be quite as pink as it looks. It definitely looks a little pink. The berries are pink rather than red. I don't know if that's intentional. So yeah, so I glued that on, and I'm really pleased how that's turned out now. I think that looks lovely. So that's going to go in my pink Christmas journal, and this one will go in my Patchwork Christmas Journal, the one I've been just doing the cover for. And then this was one of the ones I didn't finish at all, didn't even start adding scrapbook paper to. This was the one I used, the Roxy Creations paper. I love this pocket. And I just added a bit of this scrapbook paper. And it was a happy accident that when I flipped it up, I realised I'd put it on theoretically upside down, but it meant the background turned out the right way up. So I don't very often have happy accidents, but that was one of them. So that's turned out quite nice. And the colours go really well with the rest of it. So I thought that would look nice on there. And I've added this pocket. So yeah, I really like these now they're done, even though I had a bit of a nightmare at times during the video. But I love them now. So this is my little example that I'll put in my Roxy Creations box for this year. So I've got one to show what I did this week, and then I've got one for each of my journals that I'm working on. So I'm really happy with those. So I just thought I had a little bit of time at the end of the video, so I just thought I'd pop back in and show you them, and then next time we'll move on to something else. So don't know whether I'll get any videos done this week. As I mentioned earlier, it's a very busy week, so it'll be next weekend before I can get back in here. So, you know, the videos are going to be a bit stop-start at the moment. Life is just so busy, I can't keep up with myself. So the videos will pop up when they pop up, I'm afraid, at the moment. I just can't keep to my schedule. But I hope to get back into it before very long. Anyway, thanks for joining me again. Bye.